So, fellas, it's been a while since we've had just the three of us on the podcast. And today, we're getting the original crew back together. We have the OG crew, whatever you want to call it, live in this virtual studio today. How you doing, fellas?
I'm great.
I'm doing good.
All right. We have Erick coming at us live from a bungalow.
Oh, okay. It's nice here.
And we've got Billy coming at you live from a brewery.
Hey now.
And I'm your host, Aaron. Hello. And I'm coming at you live from the remnants of a gazebo. I was having a nice little ice cream dish in it, and it just collapsed right on top of me. So hopefully by the end of the show, we can, dig me out. But anyway,
okay,
guys, this is the season of growth, of opportunity, and exploration. I want this to be a big season for the show. And, I've obviously incorporated a bunch of new segments into the show, and we've got season-long storylines for people to follow. I have something in the works for the next episode that we record together, not just the three of us. It's going to be you two, me, and two other people. And I've got a big old surprise. Let's just say I've got something big in the works.
Oh, I like big surprises.
But today's episode, I wanted to revisit our past, our roots, if you will, and I wanted to go back to the random episode from season 1, but we're not going to be talking about lasagna. Don't worry. I don't want you to have your blood pressure skyrocket. This is just going to be a nice little storytelling portion of the cast today. No themes, just random stuff. But it's got the same sentiment as the random episode. And by proxy, it's going to be called the randomer episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe in the future we can have the randomist episode, and that'll be the next one for season 3. So today I've got a bunch of different topics on the docket, and I want it to be kind of like a choose your own adventure game. And if you guys have any sort of stories, feel free to jump on in. We're already rolling today, so if it just feels right, just go right for it. Hey, I'm not going to stop you.
I love it when it feels right. Love it.
But what I wanted to do was I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to pick and choose what we talk about in any particular order. So we've got 2 topics that we can start off with, 2 wars that we can start off with today. It can either be conspiracy theories or my McDonald's mobile order disaster. Whichever two you feel we should start off with.
100% the mobile order.
Okay, so the mobile order, got it.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to tell that story, then we're going to go to a side story that neither of you have heard because I've been too embarrassed to share it until today.
Love that.
So we'll get to that. But so my McDonald's mobile order disaster happened about a month ago now. Let me see, because if I go to videos, I actually have a video evidence from the day that it happened, July 24th. So it's almost a month ago. And this is quite embarrassing, but at the same time, I think people will understand what happened and why I did what I did. So we're just going to go with it. So I embrace technology. I don't know about you guys. I love it. Anything that can make my life easier that's technology based, I'll use it. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty...
Elon
open.
Just announced those robots. Did you see?
He did. People are afraid that they're going to take over the world. Even though they're built to just do meaningless, safety risk tasks. They're not meant to do anything. I guess. I guess they could start building themselves. But until they start developing apps, that's when I'm going to be concerned. That'll be when I really flip the alarm bells on. But yeah, so I have embraced, ever since, lockdown and quarantine started and stuff, this mobile ordering app, this phase of getting food to me. Because as you two know, I live out kind of in the boondocks, in the boonies, a little bit further away. So it's not like any place will deliver to my house directly. The closest we've ever gotten was Vinny's parents, who live next door to us. They could get Pizza Hut delivered to their house, but we couldn't get Pizza Hut delivered to our house. And it's just one house up the road. So
that's too far.
Yeah, it's upsetting. But so that was the closest. So anytime I've ever wanted food, like fast food, restaurant food, whatever, I'm just used to always having to go drive to get it. So once companies like McDonald's, whatever, started producing these mobile apps where I can place my order ahead of time, go and pick it up in a particular parking spot, drive through wherever, it's just made it easier because I don't have to give them cash. I don't ever have to worry about going to the bank. My phone just takes money out of my bank account and we're good to go. We get the food, we move on with our day.
Sure.
On this day, mobile ordering failed me. And it would have been better, more convenient, if you will, if it just affected me, but it also affected one of my friends who goes by the name of Dan. And if anybody knows who Dan is, obviously Eric, you know who he is. Bill, you've heard me mention him before. Dan is the one who came up with the name of this podcast. So that's what makes it a little bit sadder, is that someone with such a great idea and such higher influence was also caught in the crossfire of this mobile ordering app debacle.
Thanks, Dan.
So yeah, thank you for the title, Dan.
Thanks for the name, Dan.
So he wanted, it was like a 10-piece chicken McNugget meal. That's all he wanted. And I get my standard double cheeseburger, extra onion, no pickle, large fry with a drink.
Oh.
That's what I get.
All right.
So that's all I wanted. It was a very simple order. Just one burger, one fry, one chicken nugget. And I didn't even get a drink on this night. I just brought a Snapple. We were going over for game night.
Interesting. Nothing carbonated?
No. I drink Snapple a lot. Sponsor me, Snapple. I'm actually drinking for this podcast Snapple lemon tea right now, so it's very delicious.
All right.
So I order the food and I drive over, and I should mention it's a bit of a drive to go to game nights. For me, it's about a 35-minute drive to get from door to door. So I just decided I would pick up the food for Dan and I at the McDonald's that's right next to where our friends Zach and MK live.
Sure.
So I place the order, pull up in the parking spot. When you do curbside pickup in the McDonald's app, for those of you that haven't done it, you could just type in the parking spot number. So for me, I typed in spot 4. I'm in spot 4. You can come out. I will be here to receive my food in spot number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it works is the app tells you, hey, we'll have your food out in about 5 minutes. Just sit tight and, munch on your seatbelt if you're hungry in the meantime, kind of, stuff like that. So I order the food and I'm waiting. And there's a guy next to me that pulls up in his car, and he pulls up into the curbside spot, but he goes into the restaurant, which I immediately find weird because curbside, like, they're just supposed to deliver the food out to you. And I thought to myself, does this guy know something I don't? Like, does he know, oh, shoot, these curbside spots, they never bring your food out to you. Like, you got to go in if you want it.
Right. He's been through this before.
So I'm sitting there, I'm listening to my music, just jamming out, having a good old time. And I should mention, I arrive at the restaurant at 6 o'clock. Perfect on the dot, 6 o'clock. And I'm waiting for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm starting to get concerned.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Because on the app, they also now have McDonald's rewards. So I can see that they've redeemed my order because my rewards number has increased. And I assume that they've now charged my bank account. And I checked, and sure enough, they did. And I got the email saying, hey, we got your order. Like, here's your receipt. And I was like, well, that's fine and dandy, but I still don't have my food.
Yeah,
sure.
Where's my food?
I'm waiting.
So I'm sitting there waiting, and the guy who had pulled up next to me in the meantime has gone in the restaurant, come back out, curiously enough, with no food. That's what threw me off. No food.
0.
And he gets in his car and he drives away. And in the meantime, another car pulls up. He also goes in the restaurant, and I'm like, wait, something's going on here. Like, this is wrong? Unless I just have the script completely wrong, but I've been doing this for over the course of a year now. Like, this is just blowing my mind. And in the meantime, another DoorDash driver has gone in with his DoorDash bag to keep his food warm, and he's already gone in and come out in the time that I've been waiting here. And I'm like, wait a minute. Something is wrong. I need to get to the bottom of this.
Something's awry.
My first thought is I'm going to go in my email and I'm going to double check the address of the McDonald's that I ordered food from, because my first thought is, even though I know I picked the right McDonald's, this was the one in New York. I double checked the address and I was like, that's here. I'm at this spot. I'm in parking spot prime where I need to be.
Right. Should be no problem.
So I go to the email and I click because the address field has a clickable address, and it would open up in the Maps app and it would tell me if I am at the right McDonald's or not. So I click on the address. It says that the McDonald's that I'm supposed to be at is 5 miles away, like down the road from where I would normally drive to get over to Zach and MK's. And I'm like, wait a minute. How is this even possible? Like, did they build a new McDonald's? Because what's also interesting is the place where they live, it's very much on the rise for expansion. Like, they've added so many new buildings, businesses, apartment complexes, just everything you can imagine in the last 3 years that they've lived there. So I just thought to myself, fuck, they put in a new McDonald's.
Maybe.
And didn't tell me, and they didn't change the address or whatever. So I shift my car in reverse, peel out of the parking lot. I drive down the road, and as I'm driving, I'm like, I need to call this McDonald's and tell them to hold my food. Because I'm coming. I'm on my way. Don't get rid of that burger and nuggies just yet. I'm on my way.
Here we go.
So I call them, and the guy answers, hello?
I can't believe you can even call.
Hello?
They had a number, and I said, hi, I'm Aaron. I placed an order. I'm coming. Just hold the food. I'm like, there was a mix-up. I was at the wrong restaurant. I'm on my way.
I'm coming.
And this guy, he basically is like, hold on, let me check. And then I said, okay. And he goes, what's the name on the order? And I said, it's Aaron. It's Aaron. Like, I'm here, I'm coming. And he goes, that's the one with the double cheeseburger, the chicken nuggets, and the fries, right? And I said, yeah, you got it. And he goes, okay, yeah, somebody went out to the parking lot to try to give you your food. Nobody was here. And I said, as I've already explained,
I'm on the way, sir.
I'm on the way. I was at the wrong McDonald's. So he goes, okay, we'll have it here for you. And I hang up the phone. I drive down the road and I get to the intersection that I would normally get to if I was driving to Zach and MK's apartment. Like,
right.
I would have been better off just taking my normal route there instead of just going a different way to get to this McDonald's. So I peel out down the road, take this quick right, take this quick left, and I'm zooming. And my GPS says I'm 1 mile away, and I'm like, perfect. I don't want to be any more than 1 mile away right now. I go around this turn, and it says to take the turn at 15 miles an hour. And I come around the bend, and it says, you have arrived at your destination. And I look to my right, and it is a dead-end gravel driveway.
Oh, no.
And I went, huh? Because at this point, what else can you say other than, huh?
That's bogus, man.
So I'm like, what is happening? Like, I opened up the address that was from this McDonald's receipt, and I'm like, where am I going now? And I quickly realize that on the receipt in the email, they only have highlighted in the address section a number and the name of a road. So when you hit it and it opened up in the Apple Maps app,
right,
it opened up to a road that had that name and an address that had that number in the city, and it just went, it's there.
Oh my God.
So I was at the right McDonald's the whole time.
Oh, you were?
They were just slow as shit.
That's crazy.
So I have now driven 5 miles in the opposite direction.
It's like a half hour now you've invested.
Now I'm driving the same route that I just took to get to this imaginary McDonald's back to the correct restaurant. And at this point, I am so flustered and so like, what is happening? I called Dan, and Dan's like, hello, because he's famished at this point. And I said to him, Dan, I'm coming. Don't worry. The food, it's on its way. I'm like, there's been a bit of a mix-up. There may or may not have been a McDonald's situation where they have built and subsequently destroyed the restaurant before I got there.
Yeah. Whoa.
Don't worry, I'm coming. Your nuggets are coming, man. I'll be there. So he just laughs and he goes, okay, we'll be here. Click. So I drive all the way back. At this point, it is 6:25.
Oh, you're falling apart, man.
Yes, I'm losing myself, and it's absolutely depressing. So now what I want to share with you two is, you would think that this is where the story gets a little bit more mellow.
Wrong.
Oh,
It only started to step up.
oh
So
boy.
on my way back to the restaurant, as I'm driving down, the road is actually called as I'm driving to the road back to this McDonald's. Now, I just uploaded a video to general chat, so go ahead and check that out at your leisure. As I'm driving,
Oh, you recorded.
about 50 to 150 motorcycles are driving down in front of me, and this guy,
This guy doing
Oh
a
my
wheelie?
God.
he's doing a wheelie, and he's not the only one. In the video, unfortunately, he's the only one that I got doing the wheelie, but he rode down this route for probably 2.5 miles doing a wheelie.
That's really
incredible.
impressive.
And the speed limit on this road, it varies depending on like if you're in a various spot or whatever. But in this section, it's 55. They are doing 35 going down this road, anywhere from 35 to 40 miles an hour. So now me and the rest of the traffic on this road are stuck behind this gaggle of motorcycles. And I'm like, what else could go wrong? I've already gone to the right McDonald's, then to a wrong imaginary McDonald's. Now I'm encountering a gang of bikers on my way back there.
Hell's Angels.
I'm just trying to get my food. Like, please let this be over. So I finally get past the biker brigade, finally get back to the McDonald's, pull in the same parking spot that I was at just a mere 15 minutes ago, and I go inside the restaurant, and I said, hello.
I'm here.
I was the guy who called. I had a mobile order. I'm the double cheeseburger chicken McNugget guy.
Yeah,
I'm just
please.
looking for my food.
Hopefully it's ready.
And it takes about 5 minutes for anyone to help me. And then finally this lady comes over to me and she goes, hi, so what was your problem? And I said,
Oh my God.
I repeated exactly what I said to you guys. And she goes, oh, well, let me go check. So she disappears for 5 minutes and then just comes back and says, yeah, we don't have that.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. So at this point, I texted Dan. What did I say? Let me get Dan's text message up, because I was texting him throughout this entire process. And I said,
At this point, though, and Eric, I don't know if this is how you would feel. I would almost want a new order of the same thing anyway.
Oh yeah, just give me exactly what I ordered.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
but make
Yeah,
it
I mean,
again,
it's
though.
probably 20, 30 minutes old by now.
Yeah, I don't want that.
yeah.
McDonald's doesn't keep that long.
No,
Definitely, yeah. So I texted Dan. My phone says Saturday, July 24th, 6:36 p.m. Keep in mind, I arrived at the restaurant originally at 5:58, basically 6 o'clock.
Right.
I have been on this adventure for almost 40 minutes now. And I texted Dan, I am going to scream, what the fuck is going on, dude? In all caps. And then I said immediately after, in the same minute, I said, I have no idea where our food is. It's in some imaginary McDonald's that isn't in our existence plane.
It's in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, it's just at this point, it's not there. And to Dan's credit, love Dan. He just goes, it's okay, I'm not starving. And then he goes, you are working up a crazy appetite. And I was just like, you have no idea.
Laying
Like,
on the floor.
this is bad. So eventually, finally, I show this woman who's, I don't know if she was the manager, but like she might have been like the manager on duty. She was wearing like a nice dress shirt, you know, the typical McDonald's colors. She had
Right.
like the name tag and stuff. So she seemed like she was the one in charge. I just showed her my phone and I was like, this, do you have this?
This I want now.
She goes, oh yeah, that. She goes, yeah, we have that. And then she hands me the food so nonchalantly, and I'm like, I just need to get the fuck out of here. So
Right,
I
right,
get
right.
to
Pass.
Zach and MK's. I bring the food up to Dan, and at this point, everyone else has already eaten dinner, as Dan and I are just eating. And I'm literally, my hands are shaking as I get in
Right.
the door. I'm like, this is the worst experience. It could not have gone any worse. And I said, I need to share this experience on the podcast.
And had you already drank the Snapple, or did you hold off?
No, I held off. I really had no reason. Erick texted, for those of you, he posted in general chat, it's the gif of Arthur, and it's the zoom in on his fist just shaking.
Yeah, that was
Also, rest in peace, Arthur, by the way.
That was me. Wait, what? Arthur?
They took it off the air, finally.
Really?
Since the last time we spoke, and now they've canceled Arthur.
Wow.
It was on the air for that many years? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. That's amazing, Eric. That's incredible.
I never watched Arthur as a kid, but I can definitely see like how that would be a big like blow to the television community.
Yeah, I loved Arthur. That's awful, man.
So, do you guys have any stories that are like that, or do you want me to go to the thing that I've been keeping a secret for 2 years now?
My McDonald's that is really close to me is like the slowest in the U.S.
I do remember you've said that before.
I've waited in the drive-through line for like 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
For McDonald's.
That's enough time for you to be like, yeah, better not.
I know, right? Enough time to regret it, but
that's enough time for you to eat McDonald's and then have a stomach ache from eating the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's crazy.
Now, we should also mention, Eric, you're in like the continental southeast portion of the United States in a major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll let the audience fill in the blanks if you can guess. Now, have you gone on like Yelp or like any other sort of like review app or anything to see if other people share your sentiment as being like, yeah, this is the worst fucking McDonald's?
I think, yeah, if you just like search them on Google or whatever, like that specific one, I think there are like really low reviews. And I'm pretty sure one time I did actually go to the review thing, right? Because on the receipt, it probably says like, how did we do? Go to this
you can do like a survey.
Yeah. And I probably did and was like, these people are terrible.
So I just Googled, and obviously I'll censor this out. I just Googled McDonald's reviews, and the first couple that came down were like 3 stars. So I'm like, oh, that's not bad. And then I got to Yelp, and it was 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
It says from earlier this year, and I can't view the total review because it's saying like whenever I go to click on it to like read more, it wants me to download the Yelp app, but it says this is quite literally the worst McDonald's ever in the entire country, possibly the world. Service could not be worse. Is it the ... And now I have to download Yelp to read the worst.
Yeah,
I
so
don't like where that's headed.
A 2.8. That's the one I'm talking about. It's a 2.8.
Now you got me curious what they are here. Yelp, McDonald's.
And then it says here, always the worst. 15 to 20 minutes drive through with an attitude. Now serving raw meat. Dangerous. They should close them down. Oh
my God. Some of these are going to be amazing.
I also, it's going to be a future segment in the show, but I think I'm going to have a thing where like I want to go through interesting or funny or unique Amazon reviews of products. And I have one lined up. It is a saga. It is the biggest saga of an online review I've ever read in my life. I'm quite confident, even with me reading it, it's probably going to take me 20 minutes to read it, maybe more. But it is so worth it. So we'll get to that eventually. That'll be for another day. But I also wanted to bring that up because, Bill, you had also mentioned in season 1, like you had ordered McDonald's like through like a mobile app or whatever the one time. And I was like, oh yeah. So we've already talked about like the mobile app ordering. So this is just the other side where you don't get what you want and the food is cold and bad.
It doesn't work out.
Funny enough, it actually wasn't the worst McDonald's I've ever had. It was definitely like lukewarm. It was no longer hot. You know, it wasn't the best McDonald's, but it certainly was not the worst. And to piggyback off of that, Eric, when you said you were in like the drive-through line for a half hour, I remember the longest I've ever been in a McDonald's drive-through line. My dad was driving me. We were coming home from I think my grandmother's or from the store or something like that one day. And we were in the old McDonald's drive-through where I met Chris in the Hardee's ball pit. Obviously, we talked about that earlier this season. When the Hardee's left and McDonald's went in there, we went through the drive-through. I wanted a medium fry. It took them 22 minutes to get me a medium fry.
That's insane. Were you at the window?
That is insane.
Or were there people in front of you?
There was 2 cars in front of us. Only two.
Whew.
And not big orders. Like, it looked like the first car, I don't remember what the first car had. The second car in line, the first one ahead of us, that one, they said they didn't have much food, but like there was an issue with their order, so it took them like a couple extra minutes. But we were probably at the window for 10 minutes. And the only reason why I knew that was because to watch my dad get progressively Arthur Fist angry, shaking. Angry. he looked at the window and he noticed the like hotline that you could call to be like, how did we do today? And he goes, I'm going to call this hotline and I'm going to tell him that it took 22 minutes for a medium fry. And the person at the window was just like, okay. Like, they were just having none of it at that point.
Yeah, I've had one of those situations. Have you ever had this situation where you go through the both, you pay at window 1, you get your food at window 2. I was at window 2 and they told me to like pull off to the side and you have to wait an additional amount of time while other people behind you get their shit. I sat there before for probably about 20 minutes, almost to the point where I was like doing that like rubberneck thing, like looking in the, like, do they still know I'm here? Like, what happened? And it came and like they were almost like annoyed they had to bring it to me. And it's not like I get, usually I just do a McDouble, sometimes with pickles, sometimes without, kind of depends. Medium fry and a sweet tea. Like, the sweet tea's on tap. The fries, that's the whole fucking organization. And the McDouble, I mean, that's like one of the most popular things. So I don't know. It was like one of those things where I was just like, all I wanted was this McDouble. And now I'm spending my whole afternoon off to the side, like trash.
From now, I'm a 5-star man. I shouldn't have to wait.
It's crazy. I do want to share, while I was looking up reviews of the McDonald's near me, somebody says, this is a 5-star review.
Of McDonald's?
Now, I'm not sure how this particular McDonald's brews its coffee, whether it's the spring water or brewed only by the hands of virgins. I'm not sure, but it's effing delicious. I may have an addiction, but I swear to you, this is some of the best coffee you will ever have.
Wow.
glowing review.
If it is brewed by the hands of virgins. Wow.
And then the next one under that's a 1-star review from the day before that says, this location is always slow. For God's sake, do you have to say machine is broken every time I try to come for a frappe? Fuck. Tell your store owner to buy a new damn machine. So it seems like it's a kind of a sliding scale with McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you know what you're getting into. Like, I mean, it's, you're not going to a Capitol Grill. It's not a steak dinner,
Yeah, of course. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for McDonald's, mostly because McDonald's is what's making my heart softer over time.
Right.
But even though it's bad for you, even though, like, I usually have it, I want to say maybe a few times a month. And if that, and it's still, because I like to rotate. Like, sometimes I'll get Mickey D's, sometimes I'll get Wendy's, the occasional Burger King if I really hate myself that day. But I do enjoy my burgers and my fast food. So it's good to share that experience. It's good to hear you guys have had other experiences similar and stuff. But
I love McDonald's. I always will.
So if you guys want, we can segue into a secret that I've been keeping for over 2 years.
Here we go.
And it's been eating at me for a little bit, but I figured I would tell it on the podcast because what better platform? So just for context, 2 years ago, in May of 2019, a young Billy traveled up to New York from his home area for work-related reasons. And he actually was traveling over to Cooperstown. And for those of you that have never been, small little quaint town, big on baseball. They got a Hall of Fame for it there. They got a lake, huge lake, golf courses, and some nice stuff over there. It's a cool place to visit if you haven't been there. So we made the decision because I hadn't seen you up until this point. It had been almost 5 years. It would have been 5 years in like July since I had seen you. So
yeah,
we were like long overdue. Let's just, we'll get a, meeting, you're there for work, I'm coming for fun, we'll go out to dinner, we'll have a good time. And it was right around the time of your birthday too. So I had already known that like I wanted to, treat you to dinner. And we found this little hole in the wall establishment.
God.
I don't even remember the name of it. It was something like 22 at Mel's or something like that.
I think Yeah, something. It had all of those things. In the
Yeah,
name.
it had the number 22. It had Mel's, and it may have even had a grill in there.
Is this going where I think it's going?
Well, no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, it's not. Don't worry. So Bill, while we were there, we had a great dinner. We ended up, I think we both got the same thing for dinner, which was it was a
Filet with
peppercorn.
Yeah, with a ravioli on the side as well.
It was like a peppercorn seasoning. Basically, the way that I can describe it, it almost looked like a honey mustard sauce that was on it with like black marbles throughout it.
I still argue that was not a filet. I think it was a top sirloin, but that's just me. I'm not going to throw stones at Mel's on 22.
I
Sorry.
mean, you're the steak man. Like you know your cut of steaks and stuff.
Something
So
was
I'm
just
going to
off.
trust you. But so we go out to dinner. We have a lovely time, and at some point in the meal, Bill gets up to go use the restroom, and something happened while you were at the restroom, Bill, and you don't know what I'm about to talk about, do you?
I don't think I do. I remember, I mean, a lot happened that day.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You go ahead.
And Eric, I've never told you this story, right?
No, you have not.
So something happened while you went to the bathroom, Bill. I was sitting in my chair in this restaurant, and I was on my phone, and I should mention that that I fell out of my chair while I was sitting by myself at the table.
Yeah.
And the entire restaurant looked at me.
Like an idiot, like a child.
How did you fall?
And it made a loud noise. It was a boom.
Yeah. It was a small dining room, too. It was pretty condensed. It's probably, I don't know. They probably had 25 tables in the whole place. If that.
I thought it would be a situation where you saw somebody.
No, and Eric just posted the It's Always Sunny. It's a GIF of Charlie and Mac noticing each other at a restaurant. I wish it was that. That would have been less embarrassing
than falling.
So I should preface this. There was a reason why this happened. It was because I was sitting in my chair like an asshole. So I should mention. Can either of you guess how I was sitting in my chair, which led me to being like falling out of said chair?
Here's my theory. I thought you have one leg on the ground and you have like a foot tucked behind your ass cheek, the opposite ass cheek of the leg that's under your ass.
Okay. So like I'm almost sitting like almost like cross-legged, but instead of like one is tucked under, one's on the ground.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Eric, do you have a guess?
Maybe there was like a bug or something and you're like, whoa, and then you kind of fell out.
Both good options. Both are sadly incorrect, though.
Oh.
I was seated on this chair with one foot somewhat on the ground, like it was tucked down on the ground, but it was actually on the bar of the chair that was underneath. So, like, do you know how chairs have like the four legs going down, and then some chairs have like support beams that go across, and they connect the legs, if you will, in like a square or a rectangle type shape. So I had my one foot, I believe it was my left foot, on that bar on the chair, and my other leg was tucked up so it was touching the edge of the table, so my shin was against the edge of the table, and I was pushing against the table with said leg that was making contact with it, so I was like balancing like on the back two legs of my chair, and eventually it got to the point where I guess I just leaned back a little bit too far, and I started to feel the chair just fall backwards. And it's a very interesting feeling when you're free falling through the air on a chair with no care in the world.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
When you're on your phone and you just, I was not hurt at all. I really wasn't even that embarrassed. What I was more embarrassed about was when the chair landed, it went wham on the hardwood floor.
Right.
And an entire restaurant went silent and was looking at me. That was what I was more self-conscious of.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I knew something. I came back and you just looked like a sad, just you wanted to leave immediately.
Yeah, well, that was why. And I've kept it a secret all these years.
Wow.
And it was an interesting thing because I got up and it was one of those times in your life where you have the opportunity afforded to you to be able to be like, I'm okay, folks. Like, don't worry about it. And I always thought I would relish in that moment. Like, I would always be ready to receive that moment. And I would always be like, hey, I'm fine, everybody. Like, go back to eating dinner. Like, haha, look at the idiot who can't sit right. You know, like that sort of deal. But I literally stood up and I was just like, I'm just dumb. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't continue eating. And the restaurant very slowly started to have their conversations again as I buried my face in my phone to be as removed from this situation as possible.
Right.
Yeah, I bet you won't lean back in your chair anymore.
Oh, I do it all the time. That did not stop me in the slightest bit.
Yeah, because I remember coming back and being like, are you okay? Are you,
Yeah.
like, are you good? Yeah, and you were like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't just
good.
fall out of my chair in front of a crowded restaurant.
I was in the bathroom trying to figure out how to convince you to go to the goddamn casino.
Yeah, Bill really wanted me to go to the casino with him to play craps, and you were convincing me hard. And I still submit to this day, if I did not have to work, what?
Nothing.
I didn't hear it legitimately. Okay.
Oh.
I like your mic kind of went like, and I went, huh?
Oh, I came in too late. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Okay. The moment's passed. So yeah, he was trying to convince me to go to the casino to play craps. And I submit to this day, if I did not have to work the next day, I would have gone.
I felt so awful that next day. I was a mess.
Because you had been drinking or because...
I don't know. I think the ravioli upset my stomach.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, so that's my secret that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm glad I could get it off my chest and
It
for
was
the
fun.
whole world. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And then I stole the brick and flew it home.
Yeah, you did steal a brick. Yeah. So Bill and I, we ended up going to a bar after that. And
Which is a whole other story.
yeah, and I don't even know why. Like I think you said you wanted a memento from your trip.
Yeah, like a token.
Yeah, and we were walking down the city street that was under construction, and there was just a pile of bricks sitting there.
Pile
And
of
Bill goes,
bricks.
I'm keeping this.
I'm keeping one of these.
Of course.
So I walked through the hotel lobby carrying a brick, which looks ridiculous at whatever time it was in the morning.
I gotta say, it was a high quality brick, though. Like, it was off the production line, like bright red quality brick. It was really, really nice.
And then it just sat in my hotel room for days, and I was just like, can I fly with this?
Yeah, I think that was the best realization that you had while we were going back to the hotel. You were just like, how am I going to get this through customs? Like, can I get a brick?
Maybe fly with a brick. I got it home, gave it to my dad.
I mean, it's just a weight thing. That's all you're really going to have to deal with, I would think.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, because I checked a bag, but yeah, we were at, what was the name of the bar?
Coolies.
Coolies. That's it.
Yeah.
Because Bill, he had heard about it when he came into town, and he goes, I think it's called like Connolly's or Cannolis or something like that. So we go up to the hotel desk. Bill's already a little bit like not drunk,
I called.
He's buzzed at this point. Yeah, he calls the desk and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a bar. Is it like Connolly's or something like that?" And the guy goes, "Coolies," and he goes, "Coolies," and he leans over to me and he goes, "It was Coolies."
It was Coolies.
In the car. And then he just starts
Coolies.
talking to the guy on the phone. Also in that trip, there was a girl that was crying in the hotel lobby and you didn't know her and you just walked up to her and you're like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Ma'am."
She was like hysterical.
Yeah, and then she's like, "I'm fine. I don't know, like," and she was kind of like just really like grumbly and
Get the fuck
Bill's
away from me, basically. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and then Bill, he looked at the hotel staff and he goes, "This is you. This isn't me. I'm not."
This is your problem.
He goes, "This is your problem." I'll have to post a picture from that trip. That was during a time when I still had long hair. I was growing out my hair for donation, so I just look like a fucking gremlin with my long hair.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Essentially, yeah. And God, do I miss my fucking long hair, dude. Every single day since I cut it, a piece of me is gone. And it was placed upon a child's head for however long wigs last.
Grow it back.
Yeah. It's going to take a couple of years, though, to get to that length. So one day at a time. Anyway, speaking of long hair, do you know who else has long hair?
Wait.
Mark the Earther.
Oh,
Glad
God.
you answered that. So we're going to talk about Mark the Earther to close out the podcast here. So, Bill, I need to thank you. I need to send you a basket of some sort.
No.
Maybe some assorted chocolates. Maybe a whiskey or two. Because I need to thank you for bringing Mark the Earther into our lives.
It's the kind of thing that it just felt, I have to share this.
What I can't believe is how you have been so spot on. It's so scary. You mentioned the longest time ago, probably on the pilot episode of the podcast, you said he's talking about flat Earth. For those of you that don't know, Mark the Earther is a guy that is on Bill's social media. He knows him in real life. They're more of acquaintances than personal friends or whatever, but he knows the guy, and this guy believes that the Earth is flat. And he posts all of these different things, quote unquote, proof that he's right, we're wrong, we're being lied to, all sorts of catch and buzzword phrases that we say on this podcast all the time.
Right.
On the pilot episode of the show, you said that you were excited for season 2 of his content because you thought that he was going to start talking about the Apollo moon missions because he had talked about how Apollo 17 is a lie. The videotapes prove it. Look into it. That sort of deal.
Yep.
We briefly talked about it on the first episode of season 2 here. He has totally jumped the shark, gone off the deep end, the flat edge of our flat plane, flat Earth.
Yep.
He is completely bonkers.
Wow. Nice.
And I'm going to be throwing out some catchphrases today, some buzzwords. So I want people to try to keep up. If you can, we're going to be talking about the hashtag mud flood today.
Oh.
We're going to be talking about Tartaria and the Tartarian Empire. We're going to be talking about electromagnetism. And finally, we're going to be talking about giants.
Giants?
Not the New York Giants. Like fucking giants that have that exist in like mythical proportions.
Let's get into it.
So Mark the Earther started to post a while ago, and this was during the break from season 1 to season 2 of the podcast, which at this point has probably been almost 3 months since the end of the recording of season 1. And he started talking about this hashtag mudflood. And for those of you that aren't aware, I'm going to read to you now what this mudflood is. The mudflood is a conspiracy that...
A pretty young conspiracy.
Yes, it's very new. And I think what is... You know what? I'm just going to read it. We'll get into it after. It says, The Mudflood Conspiracy by Braden Fitzgerald, section editor at this Crimsonian school or whatever.
Right.
Conspiracy theories are odd pieces of history and culture. All of them form around the basis that events haven't unfolded as we are told. The belief that the powerful and wealthy may have something to hide, which they usually do, don't we all? To be fair, many conspiracy theories are not all that ridiculous. I assure you, this one is. Some of them actually make logical sense, and it has been proven time and time again that governments and corporations aren't exactly honest about their dealings. So hearing that, that's exactly what Mark is so focused on. He's talking about the government and like a secret society of people that are controlling us, dubbed the controllers, are guiding people in a way that they want them to be guided. So that's where he starts talking about this mudflood. A general synopsis of this theory is that within the last 100 to 1,000 years, civilization was reset and humanity lost much of its knowledge and many advanced technologies. This reset was caused by a huge flood that covered the land in a few feet worth of sediment. a few theorists equate this flood with the Great Flood of the Bible. And if this theory is true, it would throw off the Bible's timeline by more than 1,000 years. So then the article goes on, but that's the basis. And the theory behind it is because people have done excavations of these buildings, like old buildings and stuff, and they found that under the ground, there are layers of the building that have been buried by the ground.
In the picture, it's the Capitol.
Exactly. So I'm going to send a picture to the Discord right now, and this is probably the picture that like kicked it all off, like with this mud flood. This was like the first thing that I saw him post.
I mean, we know it could not. We know it's not in the last 100 years, though, right? Because all of that is pretty fairly well documented.
But how do you know?
How do you know? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Well, and then this is the other one too. So there's two of them that really started to kickstart. And to describe the pictures, one of them looks like a cityscape, like with a large building or whatever above ground. And then below it, it fucking looks like the Empire State Building amidst other buildings that's just hiding underground.
Right.
And it says, research Tartaria, history is a lie. And then the other one looks like the Capitol building. And what we see up on the top is essentially like a 2 to 3 story structure.
It's like a tip of the iceberg.
And then, below it is like another 45 floors. And I told you I was going to relate everything that we were talking about. The basis behind this theory is that giants used to exist and that they would build buildings that look like these Gothic churches and other historical landmarks and stuff like that. And they had this elaborate like Gothic architecture. And the purpose was to harness free electricity from our realm, as Mark so eloquently puts it. And it basically like causes ions to vibrate. So like they'll build like this shape, and he claims this shape can be found in microwaves. And you know, the one guy who he posts videos from, his voice is really annoying. He's like, the controllers are trying to control you.
Right.
They have built these items that have existed for thousands of millennia before you. Like, he talks like that. Not Mark, this other guy that he shares videos from. But he claims that all of this architecture was built by an advanced civilization, and now, because this flood wiped out this civilization or whatever, now there are these people that are the quote-unquote controllers that are trying to keep all this hidden from us. So I guess we can't get back to that. Like, I don't know what the purpose of them concealing it would be.
Right. What kind of, grand technology could there have been that
So the thing that then gets me is, like, would he think it would be like aliens?
That's what I don't understand.
I have no idea. Like, one of his things that he posts, this was a really funny one that got me. So this picture, and I think that that's him. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. That was him standing in the doorway of this building, like when he went to go visit this place.
That is correct.
Yeah. And he claims that why would you need to make a door that tall unless it was for giants?
Oh, definitely giants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, somebody couldn't just wanted a large door.
A big door.
Right. How insane.
So big. It's clearly proof of giants.
Yeah, very clearly. And so I'll show, this is one of my favorite pictures that I've seen posted. He's posted this one that's been like a proof of there's more of buildings than what we see that are underground. And like this building, he claims like, why are there windows underground? And why is there a door? Like, you're being lied to. And there's just so many other photos that he shared about this. And it's almost as if he's not abandoned the flat earth thing, but he's almost ignoring it now.
There's too much. It's too saturated. You need something new.
Yeah.
He wants to be the mud flood guy.
And I think what's even crazier is like, this is going back to like the free electricity thing that I was talking about. And he talks about this image. It's a cathedral instead of a cathedral, which is a cathode type of electrode through which electrons move. So they're basically saying like the buildings that we would revere as churches today were built as like power generators back in the day. And the controllers have removed the items that make these giant generators work. And now they're trying to pass it off as just like a historical church-like building. It's unbelievable. He's completely jumped the shark. And I have no idea where we go from here.
There's so little to read about it.
I know.
And like the main article is some noob from some, high school, or, not to discredit what he's achieved in his life, but like, that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah. And this one's funny because the post that I just shared, he talks about how like in 1901, this is what Buffalo, New York looked like. And with like, how could we have that much electricity in 1901 without like this free electricity that can be harnessed from the environment or whatever? Like, I don't even understand how his brain works at this point. It's unbelievable. Now, I should also mention, I won't post this because I don't know if it'll actually upload to Discord or if I'll be able to share it. So I urge both of you to check out his story within the next 24 hours, probably within the next 6 to 9, if I'm being honest.
Right. Probably within the next 10 fucking minutes.
He shared, if it gets taken down by the controllers. He shared this 15-minute long video from this dude that he follows, like the one with the annoying voice.
Yeah.
And it talks about these Tartarian star stations that are basically like these gigantic power stations that were built in the shape of stars that can be found all over the world. Right. And people would just use water like flowing through canals to power these engines. And he goes, people would have a pool of water in their homes to store free energy. And I'm like, do you understand what you're saying? Like how insane this sounds?
Right.
It's unbelievable. I'm going to share a lot more to social media, like when we actually start talking about this, but I wanted to start wrapping up the show here. So, we'll jump the shark.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm reading something. Star forts. He's talking about star forts are found all across our realm.
Yeah, that's
realm.
the star stations.
Realm.
Yeah, the realm. So apparently that's what this is called now, is the realm.
That's awesome.
Not the flat plane. We've moved well past the flat plane. We're into the realm era now.
I think he fell off it. My goodness.
He fell off, hit his head, and tumbled all the way down. That is for sure.
The mud flood thing, basically what they're suggesting is if I go downtown in the city where I live and just start excavating, there's going to be a building potentially below the building
Yeah. Well, like more of the building. So
sure.
and for whatever reason, like, here's what I don't understand. If this is in fact true, why are there no stairs to get down to that level? So you would have built built top floors to the building without access to those top floors.
Or they're suggesting that there's a stairwell inside that's been sealed or something like that.
I guess, but you would be able to tell on the floor, like, unless the technology that these people had 100 to 1,000 years ago was like, self-sealing floors. Like,
that's what they want you to think.
If somebody bashed a hole in my kitchen floor and then tried to cover it, I could tell you exactly where they bashed the hole.
I wish somebody would bash a hole in my fucking head.
I know.
He's got a picture of an aether harvester, which is actually just like a church.
Yeah. It's insane. It is unbelievably insane.
It is insane.
The other one that I took a picture of, he shows like these temples that are in like Malaysia or like some Eastern Asian country. And it's just a picture of like these, I don't even know what you want to call them, like floating jellyfish things. And they're called microscopic radiolarians.
Sure they are. Absolutely.
It's like, how could they not be called that?
Why wouldn't it?
It's insane. It's unbelievably insane. I have my own conspiracy theory to go along with this. Mine is a little bit more tame, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I brought this up maybe like 2 months ago now. Maybe, yeah, it's got to be like at least 2 months ago. I believe...
Oh, God, help me.
I believe that there is a conspiracy theory about counter-clockwise.
Oh boy. Okay.
Care to weigh in before I elaborate?
You're suggesting that time isn't real?
No.
Okay.
Against counterclockwise, I don't know.
I believe that Big Clock is trying to convince me that counterclockwise isn't the direction that I think it is.
That just bent my brain.
Yeah.
Why?
So I'll share the story. So 2 months ago, I had to change the blade on our riding lawnmower. It had been a few years since I changed it. It looked awful. I bought a new one and I needed to cut it so I could cut our lawn appropriately.
Sure.
So when you unscrew things, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Sure. Yeah.
And
okay.
left is counterclockwise, right? We've established this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So when I went to go unscrew the blade from our riding lawnmower, which direction, if you are lying on the ground, would I have to turn a socket wrench to take off the lawnmower blade?
I see what
Would
you're
I
saying.
have to push it away from me, or would I have to pull it towards me? And I want to know your answers, and then I'll tell you the correct answer if you're wrong.
I'll tell you if you're wrong.
So would you have to push it away from you or pull it towards you?
Yeah, I mean, it's still got to go counterclockwise. So, well, counterclockwise is a lie.
But you're mirroring, you're looking at something that's upside down.
Yeah, exactly. You have to realize it's upside down. So, like, I don't know which side you're laying on, I guess, but.
So here's I'll try to. I wish.
He's getting upset.
I'm gonna open up Paint and I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, open up Paint. That'll help.
So here's what we're gonna do live on the podcast because I'm recording my screen. So I'm going to
live art show.
I'm going to share my screen. We're gonna share Paint. Go live, so you guys can see my Paint screen, right?
I'm there.
Yeah,
you're there.
I got it.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna brush.
I can't wait to see your lawnmower. That's gonna be fantastic.
Okay, so that's that. I need to undo that. Okay, so here's the lawnmower. So we're gonna draw. So I had ramps going up here. So this is a ramp.
Okay.
I would write ramp if it wouldn't come out so poorly. So here, let me square this off a little bit here. So this is the ramp. So I had to drive the lawnmower so it was up here, and we're gonna do this. And we got let's see, this is the down part. This is where I sit.
Yep, that's
see,
the chair.
The chair like that. So, well, I kind of drew this,
yeah,
this is a little off.
Whole thing up on a ramp?
Yeah, it's not the whole thing's not up on the ramp. So this is wrong.
You're fucking that up. You're going to get ran over.
How do I do this?
Roll right back.
All right, guys, this has been Save It for the Cast.
No.
Coming to Aaron at the Mel's at 22.
What the hell happened here? I right-clicked and it undid it. What the hell?
This is like you're playing Line Rider.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. How do I draw again? So we're going to do this. So this is the ramp. So this is, picture this. You know what? So okay. So the mower deck is here. Here's the other wheel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm laying down here. Like this is me. Hello.
What's preventing you from getting ran over?
The ramp.
He's on the side of it, right? You're like on the side.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm laying on the side of it. So so here's the blade right here. Like this is the blade. So there's two ways you can look at counterclockwise. You can look at counterclockwise from the bottom and here's the blade right here. And then here's the screw in the middle.
Sure.
Or you can look at it from the top and here's the lawnmower and then the deck would come out on the sides like this.
Sure. Yeah.
And here's the seat part. And then the blade, picture the blade is see-through underneath here like that.
But you can't get to it like that.
No, yeah. It has to be the other way.
Yeah, you can't access it like this.
Don't draw an X through it. Thanks for the illustration.
You have to access it like this.
Yes, so it should be counterclockwise from that way.
Which when you're turning it like this, and I'm lying down on the left side, I would have to
turn it away from you.
Push it away from me. Exactly. So you guys are on the right page. You're thinking with your brain.
Sure.
You're thinking. I had to fucking pull it towards me.
Oh.
Counterclockwise is a lie.
Well, but the nut probably doesn't go on from top-down view. It goes on from the other view.
Yeah, it goes on from bottom. It goes on from this view. So you would think you would be
still counterclockwise.
But you would have to turn it on is this way.
Thanks.
Off is this way. So
Right.
if we're doing that, you have to push it away from you to go off, pull it towards you to go on. I had to pull the fucking thing towards me to get the thing off and push it away from me to turn it on. And I should mention, this tractor is from Sears. This is American built.
Thanks for that.
It's a Craftsman.
Mhm.
So it's not like I have some like foreign country branded tractor. Like,
I mean,
you know, in England, you
you're-
drive on the other side of the road.
Sure. Okay. Eric, please.
So it depends on also how are you holding like the wrench, right? Because honestly, I could push and I can pull and still be going the same direction.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait, what you said just blew my fucking
That's
mind.
interesting. I think I get what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm laying on the ground and it's in my left hand, right?
Yep.
If I have the top of the wrench on like out the top of my hand, then I have to pull. If the top of the wrench is out the bottom of my hand,
Oh,
then
I
have
see.
to push, I think.
Yeah, so you're talking about your hand from the top, like this. Well, that's
Is
a
that my
bad
thumb?
thumb. That's
It's like the glove candy on SpongeBob.
it is. So here's your thumbnail, and then the other way would be like we'll do thumb out like this,
It looks like the top of a rooster. Looks like on top of a rooster's head.
and then
Yeah.
this is your palm. Like you could do like a palm reading like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, no matter what, like whatever end the top, the actual ratchet part of it is it either coming out the top of your hand or the bottom of your hand?
So now we'll look at the blade from the side, like the mower deck from the side, and then here's the blade. So like
Should've
I
had a
had
beer.
the socket wrench going up here, and like it was coming like this, and I was holding hand down. My hand was underneath, and I needed to, you would think, push it away from me to go off. No. Pull towards me to go off. On, off. See, now I'm confused.
Yeah,
Big
because-
clock
Right?
has
if
got
you're-
me
If you're gonna
confused.
pull that towards you, it's gonna be going counterclockwise.
No.
Yes.
No.
All right.
Hand down.
But the nut is still going counterclockwise.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is. Look at your little wheel that you drew in the top right.
Yeah.
So the right is on, to the left is off.
So if I'm pulling, no, but the blade is like, if I'm pulling it towards me,
Okay.
that would be I need to put it on, but pulling it towards me pulled it off. That's
So you're
the
saying it's doing
backwards
the
thing.
opposite of what you're saying.
It's doing the opposite of what you would think. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's-
That's what I'm. It's really, really bizarre.
Now, have you experienced this anywhere else?
I don't know. The only other place that I have ever experienced it, and my mom still calls me an idiot, is when you need to. Here, I'll get rid of my big drawings here. How do I make the eraser bigger in Microsoft Paint? What? Now I'm drawing a circle? What the hell?
The size right in the middle.
The size thing
Yeah,
in
it
the
says
middle.
size,
But then
yeah.
the line. No, that's a circle. Hold on. We need to get back. Stop. How do I erase?
I think
But no,
that's it. I think that's all you got.
That's all I have for Microsoft Paint. Oh, that's awful. Okay, well we'll just do file new. So
Clean slate. Clean slate.
Clean slate here, boys. So now we've got faucet. So, and then you get like here's your hot handle, here's your cold handle, goes down into like your sink. Here's your sink, drain at the bottom like that. I just realized this faucet is very far out. So like this is the thing, like the screen that you have to replace.
Yeah.
The filter.
The filter. Like, and they give you like one of those like little Allen wrench keys that like you have to turn, and it's got like the teeth on it like up here, and like it's almost like winding up an old clock. And I always think like you have to turn it this way, like counterclockwise to the left, but it's counterclockwise from the top that you have to turn it. And my mom always calls me an idiot whenever I need to do that. But it's the same tractor principle. Are you looking at it from the top or are you looking at it from the bottom? And I would think you would need to look at it from the direction that the thing is installed. Like we need to look at it from the screen perspective.
Looking up
at it, but everything is down. It's not. So I think it's big clock. I think it's big clock that's getting to us. I don't know. That's just my theory. This has been Art Time with Aaron. What do you guys think?
I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble.
So do you think I'm dumb or do you think I'm in the right?
Well, that's more of a principle question.
Okay.
I think you're very intelligent.
See, it's funny because I said I didn't want to have like another lasagna discussion like on this random episode of the podcast, but we absolutely did. Now I want people to tell me counterclockwise. Like, which way is counterclockwise? Like, very clearly, we now know, but because two things work the opposite of the way that I would think they need to work. But am I dumb here? Like, am I being dumb? I don't know.
What's going to really knock your socks off? A lot of European screws are opposite threads.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I have to go over to Europe or London or whatever for some reason, it would be righty-loosey, lefty-tighty.
I think so. Like on my motorcycle, since it's from Italy, it has a lot of opposite screw things.
Have you ever stripped a screw on your motorcycle accidentally because of that fact or no?
No, I haven't. But most of the time, if I am like taking anything off, I'll have looked it up and it's probably like, it mentions like, don't forget this is opposite threads. Like,
Okay. Interesting. Well, we I feel like we should start ending the podcast because we're already over like an hour now. I still had so much more. I would really love to go for like a marathon episode of the cast, but I have no idea what you guys are doing for the rest of today. And I have to get ready for an event.
Yeah, I got some things.
Yeah, so we'll close us off here. So as is tradition for season 2 of the podcast, we have our season-long storylines that we need to follow, which is of course Bonsai Bonanza and Puzzle Update. So I went through last night, and we are a month behind because we recorded episode 1. We had to take a break for differing schedules and stuff, but I've recorded, I want to say 3 episodes now with a mixed cast of people in the last 3 weeks now. So we're getting a backlog built up and stuff. So right now, what you guys are about to see is actually like almost month-old pictures of the bonsai trees, of the puzzle and stuff. So I figured what I would do is we would go over this. So this first picture that I'm going to send over, I need to edit it really, really fast. And I wanted to make sure, the reason why I didn't is because I wanted to remember the date. This picture was taken July 26th. And you could obviously go back for the episodes that you gents haven't been on. And you can see the progress of the bonsai trees and stuff, which Erick, you were on episode 2, Bill, episode 1 and 2. Bill, you were on episode 1. So, these may even be startling for you now.
Whole thing is startling.
Oh, it is. So this is from July 26th. These are all of the bonsai trees.
Whoa.
And yeah, Erick is reacting to the flame tree, which has gotten insanely big.
Yeah.
And the next one I sent over, those are the black spruces. And I have a bit of sad news. Unfortunately, if you look between the old pictures and the new picture that I just sent over, there is one missing black spruce. Unfortunately, one of the little sprouts started to wither and die, so we had to cut it.
Lost one.
Which was extremely upsetting. I felt like I lost a child or a pet. Like, I care for these things, like they're my own children.
The flame tree go off though.
Yeah. And then this is like a side profile, so you can kind of get like, that's what it's looking like and stuff. But yeah, the flame tree is insane. And what I find even funnier about that is the flame tree it's the one that I had the least faith in because the soil needed to be a constant 85 degrees.
That was the one that needed to be really warm.
Yeah, and same with the rosewood, which of course you can kind of see up in the top left. The rosewood, there's nothing growing there whatsoever. Here, I'll post a picture of that. It's just still a bunch of dirt.
Ooh, rosewood might not be doing good.
Yeah, unfortunately. So next what I wanted to do, though, is I wanted to post, this is 3 days later.
3 days later.
This is 3 days
Oh, wow.
later.
Oh,
The fucking tree, it's going off. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stop this thing from growing.
Just can't stop it.
It's getting to the point where, 4 days later. I'm sorry. It's 4 days later. Man, that's a big letdown, Aaron. Nobody can trust you after making a mistake like that. But yeah, so now I'll give you a side profile shot so you can even compare it. It's actually gotten to the point where at this point in time, I was afraid
whoa.
that I was going to have to replant these immediately.
Yeah, in a bigger spot.
Keep in mind, these damn trees weren't supposed to germinate for 35 days. This is less than 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we already fucking got like the Titan growing in the distance. So it's crazy. Yeah, so that's the update to the bonsai trees. We lost a black spruce.
Very cool.
But we gained a fucking Titan amongst the plants. And so this next thing that I'm going to share is the puzzle update. And if you look back at some of the past pictures, you will see that we have a change in surface area. Like there has been a change in table for the puzzle. And the reason why is because my mom wanted control of the kitchen table back. So
Fair.
we had to move it. And in the process, it doesn't look like much progress had been made between the update 2 picture that I shared with you guys or with Eric and Steve, I guess. And then between the update picture that I shared with my mom on yesterday's episode of the podcast that I recorded with her. But there's a very good reason. It's because when we were transferring the puzzle over from the kitchen table to the card table, it fell apart. So I had to rebuild it 2 pieces at a time.
Oh, no.
Because the pieces fit together very loosely. So what you are about to see, this is the updated work. This is on August 2nd, that this first picture coming over. So I started to sort the pieces into a little bit better. So, the smiley face is now gone, and we've extended up the right side, which is circles, for those of you that are keeping track at home. And we're making some decent progress. We're getting there. We're going 1 piece at a time. And then this next picture that I'm about to share, I've actually connected the corners. So we now have 3 corners ready to go. We still have a few circles that are going to go along the top. That's, that is just as is tradition. And eventually we get to the spot where, holy hell, there we go.
Oh, man.
We got all the fucking circles connected and stuff. But if you look up at the top, there's an issue. And I'm going to send a zoomed in picture of said issue. So those pieces that are up at the top are circles that are remaining specifically for the top of the line. If you're having trouble figuring out what the problem is, I'll spell it out for you. Those puzzle pieces will not connect to the edge of the circle, which transitions into the triangles. The piece that's in the connected piece, it now goes to triangles to the left. So that means the 4 pieces that are up above it are circles that are at the top that need to be fitted in somewhere, and I don't know where. So I've gotten to the point where now, and it's extremely debilitating, I have to deconstruct part of the puzzle to hopefully reconstruct it correctly, which is more insane to say because the back of the pieces tell you that you've put the puzzle pieces in the correct position, which I can assure you are in the correct spots now. So either they've given me extra pieces or they've misprinted the puzzle. And I'm not sure which is the case. I'm not sure which I'm more comfortable with. And I got to be honest, looking at this now, there's a little bit more of the puzzle that I've completed since then. That'll be the next puzzle update. But we are not much farther now than where we are in this picture.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, so there are circles on the back of those, right? And they cross pieces.
Yeah. So like the piece that you can see that's a part of the line coming from the right, the last one that has nothing connected to the left of it. On the right half of that puzzle piece is circles. On the left half is triangles.
Okay, so yeah, that's the end one, or middle, essentially.
Yep, and then the 4 pieces that are up top in 2x2 connectors, those are only circles. So they have to fit somewhere to the right of this chain.
Yeah.
In between there and the corner. And I know that they go up there because if you look down the long right side of the puzzle in the second to last picture, those circles don't end on the edge. They end away from the edge. The circles that are up at the top of the puzzle piece, they're like half circles. They're cut off half at the top. So the remaining pieces that are up on top, they're cut off at the top too. So that's how I know that they go up there, somewhere in there. I just don't know where.
That's a mind bender.
Yeah. So not as much progress on the puzzle as I'd like, but fuck, we're taking it one day at a time. That's all I can say.
Yeah, getting there.
But yeah, that's I guess that's the show for episode 4. That's been the randomer episode. What'd you guys think?
I had a great time. It's sorry for my absence, but it's good to be back.
It's all good.
It was great.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I worked really hard. Like I said, the next episode that the 3 of us do together, we will have 2 other guests, and I have something very big planned. I was actually working on it last night until about 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning. So yeah.
Wow.
Still not done. I actually have to reconstruct it, but we have the foundations laid down, and I'm excited. I'm going to have to get a nice little suit for that episode. I'm going to be wearing a nice suit for that one.
I'm going to wear my birthday suit.
I hope you do.
That's a good suit.
That'll be a little bit of a spoiler, a little bit of a chef's kiss, teaser. Yeah, for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me for this episode of the podcast. We got let's see. We've got Erick coming at us from a Tartarian star fort.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like bye or something, but nice is good too.
That's all I had.
Long silence. And Bill, thank you for joining. You're coming at us live from now, how do I fucking pronounce it? I'm going to have to fucking correctly pronounce it. We got you coming at us live from some microscopic radiolarians.
Have a great week. Be safe. #mudflood. #space is a lie.
History is a lie. And I'm your host, Aaron. Hello. I'm coming at you live from underneath a collapsed gazebo. I'm still under there. We have not been able to clear it. Hopefully we get it by next episode. That's all I can say, because I got a splinter somewhere and it's hurting, let me tell you. So that's it. We'll see you later, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
History is a lie.